هذا هو التعمق المعماري في تبني الرقمنة هذا الأسبوع، حيث نتجاوز العناوين لنفحص الأنماط المعمارية التي تشكل التحول الرقمي. تركز هذه الحلقة على تأخر نموذج التشغيل في المجال الاستراتيجي، وكيف يخلق ذلك ضغوطاً عبر الذكاء الاصطناعي والأمن السيبراني. أنا الدكتور دارن، لنبدأ التحليل.
The problem today is not the speed of technology. It is the slowness of the operating model that turns it into real value. When AI tools arrive before decision rights and oversight are clear, momentum stalls. When a known security gap stays open for months, trust begins to erode. When a network outage becomes an operational crisis, transformation loses credibility. In a major city operations center, an AI assistant may succeed in testing, then fail at scale. In a government agency, response times may slip because accountability is unclear. At a large event, weak connectivity can shut down ticketing, transit, and support at once. For leaders, the priority is clear. Focus on governance, accountability, and value measurement before adding another layer. This episode looks at what must change first, so transformation momentum is not lost.
This week made one thing clear. Very quickly. Artificial intelligence kept expanding into prediction, match analysis, and decision support. At the same time, known security gaps stayed open far too long. And a major event showed that connectivity is no longer a support layer. It is now essential to keeping services running. New questions also emerged about the guardrails around intelligent systems. Across all of it, the message is the same. Technology is moving faster than the model meant to govern it. The institutional impact is immediate. Publishing decisions slow down, adoption decisions become riskier. When AI meets security and connectivity, reviews multiply. Handoffs increase. And change shifts from quick execution to a chain of difficult approvals. That is what decision rights means here. Decision boundaries lag behind tool capabilities. Compliance boundaries do not update at the same speed. And operating rhythm loses sync with the new reality. In your portfolio, a team may succeed in a pilot, then struggle at scale. The governance simply did not scale with it. Or you may see a correct security fix arrive too late. The operating path does not reward fast closure. This is not just a tooling problem. It is a governance problem, with real operating consequences. For your team, the priority is not another layer. It is redefining responsibility, value metrics, and escalation paths. That must happen before any further expansion. Speed without decision rights becomes drift.
This is an organizational problem. This domain governs decision rights, trust rules, and value metrics. Put simply, it defines who decides, when humans step in, and how we know change is delivering impact. First, when AI enters decisions before authority is clear, momentum outpaces control. In prediction and real-time assistance, the results may look strong at first. But the team slows down at scale because the boundaries of trust were never settled. Second, when known gaps stay open, the issue is not the scanning tool. The real problem is that strategy does not reward fast closure. And no one is clearly accountable for how long remediation takes. That weakens security, delays trust, and turns every small incident into a leadership crisis. Third, when connectivity becomes essential to service continuity, it must move from a support option to an explicit requirement. In major events, in ticketing, in field coordination, and in government digital channels, any outage passes straight through to user experience. And it affects the organization's ability to deliver on its promise. The lesson is clear. If this domain fails, AI adoption slows. Security reliability weakens. Services break across channels and operations. And the organization loses its ability to turn technology into value. This week, intelligent predictions moved into live viewing experiences. Tools now add instant context and pre-event forecasts. They also keep working during the event itself.
At the same time, a larger debate emerged. New models are advancing faster than the rules around them. That may look like a pure technology issue. It is not. It is a decision problem with real operating consequences. If leaders ignore this imbalance, trust breaks first. Approvals start taking longer. Responsibility spreads across teams. Each new use case becomes a special exception. It needs extra explanation before anyone can proceed. In your organization, a prediction model may shine in a demo. It may help track a match or support a quick decision. Then it stalls at the first scale-up request. No one has settled who can approve. No one has defined who can object. The ODXA implications are clear. Strategic value suffers when AI is treated as a showcase feature. It is not managed as a decision asset. Organizationally, ownership and accountability remain unclear. Process suffers because approval moves slower than the model. Digital software gets ahead of the rules. Physical hardware is affected when the experience depends on always-on connected infrastructure. The counterintuitive lesson is simple. Most teams tune the model first. The real constraint is governance around the model. It is not the model itself. If decision authority is unsettled, adoption fails early. Value never becomes repeatable. Stability starts with one thing: decision rights. Define who decides. Define when a human steps in. Define what stays outside automation. That is how you keep momentum. And it keeps digital transformation moving, without turning AI into a series of scattered experiments. That operational drag shows up clearly in cybersecurity. This week offered a direct example. A critical vulnerability stayed open for about 124 days before repair. At the same time, breaches hit education and service organizations. In one case, law enforcement also got involved. You might see this as a pure technology problem. It is not. It is a decision problem with operational consequences. If that delay is ignored, the first thing that breaks is remediation time. Approvals stack up. Ownership fragments across teams. The known risk remains open. In your operations, the team may spot the alert quickly. Then it waits for a deployment window. Then it waits for another approval. Then a small issue becomes a long exposure window. Strategically, trust and priority do not turn into faster closure. Organizationally, it is unclear who owns the decision. Process suffers because the path is slower than detection. Physical hardware is affected when edge and connected systems stay exposed. Digital software is affected because the flaw spreads across shared layers. Most teams optimize detection first. The constraint is the remediation operating model, not the scanner. If closure authority is not decided, trust fails before recovery becomes repeatable. Stability starts with one mechanism: control objectives. Set the closure time. Define exception limits. Agree on the risk acceptance standard. Then response becomes consistent, and transformation keeps moving instead of stalling at the first vulnerability. Long exposure windows, unclear ownership, accumulated approvals. You can see the operational lag clearly in integrated computing. This week showed a major global event relying on data centers, networks, and cloud systems. All of them had to keep running, without interruption. At the same time, faster and more reliable connectivity was pushed hard. It had to support millions of viewers in one public moment. The point is not only that technology advanced. The point is that the organization now treats connectivity as essential to stability. But the operating model has not moved at the same speed. You might see this as a pure technology problem. It is not. It is a decision problem with operating consequences. If that lag is ignored, coordination breaks first. Requests start bouncing between teams. Response times slip. Service latency rises right when demand peaks. In your environment, broadcast or service may perform well under normal conditions. Then the first surge arrives, and it starts to strain because isolation, priority, and failover paths were never settled. Strategically, connectivity shifts from a feature to a continuity requirement. Organizationally, ownership between infrastructure,
operations, and service stays unclear. Process suffers because oversight decisions move slower than real demand. Physical infrastructure is affected because power, bandwidth, and fail paths become one dependency. Digital systems are affected because connected platforms spread disruption across service layers. Most teams optimize device reach first. The real constraint is continuity across shared services and shared failure paths. If connectivity rights are not decided, continuity fails before the experience can scale. Stability starts with one thing: decision rights. Define who can isolate, who can raise priority, and who can freeze change under load. Then transformation momentum stays connected. It does not break at the first wave of audience demand. Across these areas, the same delay keeps showing up. The pattern is decision drift. Speed moves forward, but decisions do not keep up. In cybersecurity, a vulnerability stayed open for 124 days. Then incidents repeated, along with confusion over responsibility. In ubiquitous computing, a mass service depended on always-on connectivity and shared failure paths. In digital transformation, AI appeared as a ready-made capability, while work design and governance stayed slower than adoption. The trade-off is speed versus assurance. When speed rises without decision control, trust falls and rework grows. This is not a tools problem, it is an anti-pattern, policy without capability. The policy looks present on paper, but there is no operational capacity, no decision rights, and no escalation path to translate it into timely containment, isolation, or rerouting. The same issue appeared across the cases. Vulnerability response was delayed, then connected services faced messy response, then new capabilities were adopted before redesigning who decides and when. For your portfolio, this means transformation loses momentum when approval becomes the real product, not execution. Leaders win when they connect each new capability to clear ownership, a steady rhythm, and enforceable decision boundaries. Architects stabilize decision rights first. Based on this pattern, 3 choices stand out now. For your team, the delay is not in the idea, it is in the boundaries of decision-making. You can centralize decision rights for AI trust rules, override thresholds, and escalation. Or you can let each function set its own guardrails. Centralized rules firm speed approval and reduce drift. Local improvisation creates inconsistent judgment and slows adoption across the enterprise. You can treat remediation timing as a strategic risk window with one visible owner. Or you can treat vulnerabilities as routine maintenance. A strategic risk window shortens exposure and keeps delivery moving. Background handling leaves risk open longer and weakens digital trust. You can frame connectivity and failover as continuity assets, or you can frame them as simple infrastructure convenience. Continuity thinking protects service during demand spikes and shared failures. Convenience thinking breaks the operating model when load rises. Then, one network issue can cascade into core operations. For your portfolio, these decisions determine whether transformation moves with speed or stalls at the first sign of pressure. The boundary is clear. Keep the decision model tight, keep exposure windows short, and keep continuity at the core of strategy. Quietly, the pattern is clear. The operating model slows when capabilities advance, but decision rights and governance lag behind. Architects help stabilize those decision rights. They align owners and draw the line between real progress and approval theater. We saw this happen again when one vulnerability stayed open for 124 days. After that, confusion returned over who was actually responsible. For your next steering meeting, focus on who truly owns the decision, and focus on the cadence that turns change into execution. We'll continue from here next week.
وبهذا نكون قد اختتمنا الغوص المعمق المعماري لهذا الأسبوع. إذا استمتعت بهذه الحلقة فرجاء منحنا 5 نجوم على منصتك المفضلة أو على يوتيوب. وإذا أردت التعمق أكثر فانضم إلى مجتمعنا على باتريون وابحث عن Embracing Digital. إلى اللقاء في المرة القادمة. أنا الدكتور دارين. استمروا في طرح الأسئلة الصعبة واستمروا في احتضان الثورة الرقمية.